Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Augšdaugava in Latvia. At least that's how I think it's pronounced. Any Latvians out there, gotta let me know how close I was, because I tried to look up a pronunciation. I could not find it. Whenever I tried to look it up, all it would give me was Daugava, which is the very, very large river slicing right through there. Let me make sure here. Down here, it gets really, really wide right about here. And also when I look it up, all I find is about Daugavpils, which used to be part of this region, but it is no longer. Which is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing in the long run. See, now this series, if you're new here, welcome. If you don't know, I'm going through every region, state, province, territory, etc. of the world in alphabetical order. And I started this list in like late 2020, early 2021. And at that time, Latvia had 110 administrative regions. And I'm making this list being like, man, I'm just going to be a Latvia channel. That's way too many. But then in, I think, July 2021, they also agreed that that was just way too many regions, and they shrank it down to 43. So some got combined, a lot got rearranged. I had to change my whole list, which it's not a problem. It's cutting it down is not a problem for me. So on one hand, it's a good thing. On the other, it's kind of a sad thing because I could not find absolutely anything about this region. Whenever I would search for it, all I get is Daugavpils, which is now its own region. So we're going to talk about Daugavpils on another day when I hit the D's. So that's a problem, I suppose. It's a good and a bad thing for my channel, not for Latvia. But let me tell you what I could find about the area geography-wise. It has the city of Daugavpils right in the middle. We have the beautiful Daugava River, which gives the region its name and the city. And the northern area up here is dominated by what I believe is pronounced the Nigali Forest. It's there that we can find the Nigali Great Stone, which we're going to look at on Google Earth. I stumbled upon it by accident when I was trying to find a place to show you. And I Googled it and went, well, this is kind of interesting, isn't it? So now I have something to say about geography, the Nigali Great Stone. But we'll talk about that when we go to the tablet and we're actually looking at the largest stone in Latvia. Very cool. Also interesting about this region is that it borders Lithuania and Belarus. And there's a little point right here, which we'll also look at on Google Earth, where all three countries meet up and they've got a nice little place where you can, stand and be like, I'm in three countries at once, We have something similar in the United States called the Four Corners, where four states meet in one point. They have something similar there, which is fun. But it's kind of an important aspect of its history because this region used to be part of Lithuania, so to say. It was originally part of Latgalia, I believe. It's kind of hard to say. It's not like those regions had any official borders. But in 1561, the region became part of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. In 1569, Lithuania and Poland combined to create the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Also important to its history in a minute. In 1654, Russia invaded the region. Sweden was having a big to-do with Russia, so Sweden invaded, and Sweden occupied the region from 1655 to 1667 before they gave it back to the people living here. And part of Lithuania, Poland, right? The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which was not nearly as big and powerful as it used to be, especially in the 1700s, because that is when the partitions of Poland began. In 1772, actually I should explain what that is. Basically, Russia and Prussia, which in a nutshell is now Germany, found various reasons why they should occupy parts of Poland, and they encroached until Poland did not exist. They were divided between Prussia and Russia. So, in the first partition of Poland in 1772, this area came under Russian control, and a lot of Russian is still spoken in the area today because it remained technically part of Russia until 1991, when Latvia gained its independence from the Soviet Union. Apart from a couple of years between 1941 and 1944, when the area was occupied by Nazi Germany, which of course was a very devastating thing to happen to the area. Not that the Soviets weren't also horrendous, but yeah, you know what I mean. It was not great. For YouTube purposes, let's just say it was not a good time to be here, especially if you were Jewish, which there were many Jewish people here. There were. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, moving on. It was a dark time. Not so much now. Now, it's just a beautiful little countryside, forests, fields, farms. It's all very peaceful and beautiful. So with that being said, why don't I head over to the tablet and we'll explore. Maybe we'll find some new sites to see. I tried digging around trying to find anything. Maybe we'll find something else. Who knows? Let's go check it out. Alright, here we are. Augšdaugava municipality in Latvia. Let's zoom out so you can see exactly where we are if you're not quite sure where Latvia is. Latvia is one of the Baltic states. There are three. They are Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. And if you have trouble remembering, I came up with a little way to remember, because as a child I was really into geography, and I'm an old person. So when I got into geography, the Soviet Union collapsed, and all of a sudden there were dozens of new countries I had to memorize, and I was very resentful about that. Because I had just memorized like all of Europe, and then we have so many more places. All of a sudden, like, it felt like it was overnight. I felt very intimidated and personally offended, like they did it to me. So I always had trouble remembering the Baltic states. So it's alphabetical order. If you know, it's Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, or Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, whatever. They're in alphabetical order: Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. 1, 2, 3. They're in perfect alphabetical order. That's what helps me remember. Of course, now I can think of how culturally different the languages, the clothing, the landscape. There's a lot of similarities, but like Estonian is very different from Latvian, and so on and so forth. But that aside, let's look at Augšdaugava. You can see Daugavpils right here is its own thing. We're not talking about Daugavpils, which is kind of sad because it's such a beautiful little corner. Let's start off down here at this intersection here. Found this site. I was like, what is that supposed to be? And then I realized where it was. And it's a little area where you can be in all three countries at once. And there's some beautiful woodwork here. Very, very gorgeous. And then you can see there's Belarus, obviously. I think somewhere on here it was tagged like you may not be able to fully experience this because of Belarus's border. They probably don't want you stepping into Belarus. It's just a Belarusian thing. If you know, you know. So if you do want to stand here, you might want to use some caution and be respectful. People are people are people. Politics or something else. You can see a sign saying Latvia, I assume, is that way, and Belarus is that way. And you can go and be in all three countries at once and see some of these beautiful little sites that looks like each country has erected, with the Latvians being wooden and beautiful, and the Belarusians being very brutalistic and Soviet looking. Oh, Belarus. Anyway, you can really see the I got lost. I zoomed out way too far. I zoomed out way too far. There we go. Dock of Peels is up there. You can see the river. So I was trying to point out where you thought I zoomed out too far. The Augšdaugava River. Up here is the forest of Nikali. You can see up here. And here is where we can find the Great Stone. Here it is, folks. I know you were very excited to see it. The largest stone in Latvia. It's not loading that picture. Of course, it's in this beautiful, serene forest. It looks so pretty in the snow. There's a lot of legends about this stone. The real one is that it's left over from glacier times, because this all used to be covered in glaciers. But there's lots of legends behind this stone, and they all involve the devil. Mostly like the devil was trying to dam the river and he dropped the stone, or the devil was trying to construct a town and the people stopped him, and so he just dropped the stone he was holding. Things like that. They're all somewhat similar, but they have their differences. Oh, there's no slideshow here for the forest. I thought there was. Somewhere there is. But you can see all of the beautiful forested areas. You saw some there at the Great Stone. And yeah, I've just been trying to, comb through and try to find, let's look at this. There's a regional park here. Memorial there. That's all there is. Combing through, trying to find things to show you. Protected landscape here. Salonia, that's what I forgot to say, that it was Latgali and Salonium. That's what I meant to say. The southernmost part would be part of Salonia back in very, very old times. Let's tap on random towns. How about this one? See if there's any pictures. Do you have pictures? Do you have pictures? Nope. Nope. There goes the Augšdaugava River. I think I traced it wrong on the other map, but it was very hard to see. Nope. But yeah, we can assume that these are little communities. Kuzmino is a cool name. Let me zoom out again. Stuck off Peels. Like if I zoom out and see some bigger ones, surely that'll give us some pictures. Here we go. Here's a little town right on the border of Lithuania. Very quaint little houses here. Doing some ice fishing, maybe. An old Jewish tombstone here. Interesting. Does it say the year? I wonder if it says it in the Hebrew calendar. No, it says 1941. How pretty little mossy rocks. But yeah, I get the feeling that this is like the vibe of the region, Very quaint, very charming, very woodsy. Very, very sweet, in my opinion. Let's find one more to end this video on. How about fish? This looks fun. Little old church here. I love the stonework. Oh, that's a beautiful. Looks like an Orthodox church. And subjective. Every once in a while, these slideshows will show just like the Eiffel Tower, or like a bottle of Jack Daniels, and you're like, why is that there? Who tagged that? But we're gonna end it here, I suppose, while I try to find any kind of slideshow. This one's called Nikali, like the forest. Here we go. There's a stone again. Standing on top of it. I guess you can climb it. I didn't know that. How about here along the river? I feel like I was looking at some along the river. Maybe this one? Nope. Maybe this one? Oh, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, be sure to subscribe, because next we're going to the Marshall Islands. And let me tell you, if you thought there were no slideshows here, just you wait. I have found, for the first time, a region on the series that on Google Earth has nothing tagged in it. Not a school, not a restaurant, not a church, nothing's tagged. So we are just going to look at it from above and admire this gorgeous little island in the Pacific and not see anything about it, apparently. So be sure to subscribe, because you don't want to miss out on, I'm still not quite sure. I'm about to film it right now. I still don't know how I'm going to do it. So you're going to want to see for sure. But I do hope that you found this video relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good